Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Noreen Rose. I'm a psychotherapist, life coach and workshop facilitator. I specialise in relationships, anxiety, depression, confidence and self-esteem building. Today's video is going to be about how to avoid getting played in a relationship and how to know. So there are 5 simple strategies that I'm going to be talking about, and hopefully they will give you some kind of indication on what to avoid basically. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So strategy number 1, red flags. Yes, red flags. They're all there. We just sometimes choose to ignore them. And this could be because we like them or because we're not sure what red flags are. But yes, you must address a red flag. Now, red flags are anything that go against your core beliefs, your values, your principles, and they are things that are showing up that are presenting a problem for you. And how you know is you just don't feel right. So you must listen to your intuition too. And all you're doing is simply, man or woman, you're going up to your partner and you're saying, look, when this happens, it makes me feel like this. This is a simple technique I would share to say how you deal with a red flag. This takes the pressure off them. It doesn't make them get defensive. It just merely shows them what they're doing and how it's making you feel. Very simple. Now, the trick here is to see how they respond to what you're telling them. So if you're telling them this is a problem, so for example, let's say, you're always turning up late, or when you turn up late, it makes me feel like you don't value my time. Now you've told them how you feel, and if they turn around and apologize or say, I'm really sorry, I will be more mindful, and then they do that, then they are valuing what you're saying. If they continue to keep up that act and it's really presenting a problem for you, it's a red flag. So really it's about saying what your red flag is, telling them how it makes you feel, and then seeing how they respond. And that is the important part when it comes to relationship. It's not what they say, it is what they do. So it's great that they say, I love you, I care about you, you're my queen, but really what are they showing in their actions? So 10% of what they say you should be listening to, but really focus on the 90%, which is the actions and the effort that they're putting in. So if you've told them and they've changed, great, addressed. The flag is addressed. If they don't, then you really have to consider, is this the person for you? The second strategy, so strategy 2, is talking about what you need in a relationship and what you want. And the simple difference between the need and the want is the need is what you fundamentally need in order to be in that relationship. And the want is what you would like, which is negotiable. It's something you can negotiate on. I would like to see you 5 times a week. Well, I can only see you 3 times a week. Okay, I can manage that. Well, that's up to you, but it's a negotiation. I need to feel safe. Well, there's not much of a negotiation on that, because that is something that you need, is a primary need for you, so you need that. So by, again, with your partner, expressing what your needs and wants are, again, you're looking at how they are responding to what you are saying. If they care about you or they love you or they value you, they will take what you're saying and do something about it. These are all the signs that you're looking for. Is he actually putting any effort in? Is she actually investing her time? Those are the kind of things that you're looking for, and seeing if there's any change made. If they just want to play you, they're not really going to care what your needs and wants are. They're going to be more invested in what they want and what they get out of the relationship. It's not going to be about you. So that's a clear sign that this person is all about themselves and not willing to negotiate or compromise from time to time and work as a team. Sign 3 is really be vulnerable and be able to be in a position where you can ask questions that are important to you, whether that's about marriage, children, where you live, what they see in the future, what this relationship is. In a healthy relationship, you should both be able to communicate with one another, and communication is key in any relationship. And you should be able to ask these questions. And often what I get is, well, no, I couldn't ask that because she gets really erratic and she reacts really badly if I ask her, or he gets really aggressive and paranoid or deflects. This is not healthy and it shouldn't be this way. By asking the questions, it's really important. For example, you might want to get married, and the partner you're with may never want to get married due to their own traumas or their own feelings about marriage. So it's really important to have that conversation. And if you don't have that conversation, you could be with that person 3, 6 months or a year, and then when it comes to it, they're like, well, I'm not going to get married, I'm happy as it is, and that's not what you wanted. Maybe that's a negotiable for you, maybe it's not. A one that is often, I find, is really an integral one is children. You may want children, the partner may not want children, or vice versa. So those kind of situations need to be talked about. Again, if you're being played and they're not interested, they don't want to talk about these things, and they're very defensive, then again, they're not really into what you're talking about. And, and if they're not putting you in a future plan, they're obviously looking for something a lot more short term. It is about, do they see you in their future? Do they see things with you? And again, this is not going to happen in the first few weeks, as you can appreciate, but certainly as 3 months, 6 months go along, depending on how much time you spend, these will be things that will be coming in. If you're not hearing them, or they're not talking about these things, then there's a red flag there in itself. So be aware, be cautious, because you deserve the best, and you deserve what you want. And if it doesn't work with this one, there's always someone else. Strategy number 4 goes nicely into strategy 4, is setting a deadline. Yes, a deadline. A deadline which determines, all the things that we've spoken about, how long you're going to give it. And you decide. It could be, for some people 4 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. You decide how long you are willing to give this relationship. Especially if the red flags have been expressed, you've talked about your needs and wants, and you've talked about, you've asked the questions, and now it's to really sit back and watch. Well, I've discussed all of this. Well, is this person going to be putting these things into action? Is this person actually going to do something about what I've expressed? Now, again, if they care about you, they love you, they want to be with you, they will invest, and they will put the effort in, and they will make the changes necessary because they want to be with you. If they don't, then they won't. It is really as simple as that, And when you hear things about, oh, I've been too busy, or I can't do this. When you want someone, or you're in love, or you really like someone, you make the effort. So these things shouldn't be, there's not many excuses. Some, of course, there's environmental things, or they are, work, or, children. There are incidents or situations, more to the point, that kind of affect, but there's still a time period that you can give it and see if these things change. If they're for you, they will make certain changes, and if they're not, then they won't. So that's a really good indicator. And the biggest reason for setting a time limit is, if they're not for you, move on. There are plenty of people out there in this world that are the right fit for you. You cannot, I'm going to say this, you cannot mess up a good relationship. You cannot, no, let me rephrase that. You can't mess up anything that was meant to be for you. When you meet the person that is meant to be for you, there's not a lot that can go on, because a lot of things you kind of work through, you kind of get over, you kind of compromise, you negotiate, so you work with each other. But if the relationship has any holes in it or isn't for you, then those will go, and you must let them go. And the final thing is heal. Yes, heal. Often we come into relationships with baggage, and we all do. And there's things that we bring from previous relationships that sometimes can impact our new relationships. And it's really important to do the work to heal from a previous relationship, so you bring your best self to your new relationship. Because no doubt there will be things that will be done in this new relationship that will trigger old emotions or old feelings. And it might not even be the fault of the person that you're with. Because you haven't healed, you're falling into a trap. A lot of these attachments we repeat the same cycle. I will do other videos on partners and relationships, which you'll be able to see. But for the main point of what we're talking about is really doing the work. Often people will come to me and they'll say, yeah, I healed from a previous relationship, but I don't know what's going on in this one. And I'll be like, well, okay, what did you do to heal? And they'll be like, well, when I separated, I took a year out, or I took 6 months out. And I'll say, okay, What did you do in that interim? Well, I went traveling, I started a new work project, I've been so busy. So they haven't actually healed. What they did was they got busy. Yes, they gave them some space not to get into another relationship, but they didn't actually do the work. The work is different for everyone. It can take a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years. Depends on you and the hurt and the trauma that you've been through. So I definitely recommend getting some professional help and support in trying to heal your own wounds, because what that will allow you to be is have a healthy relationship that you deserve. Everyone deserves to be happy. I truly believe that, and you can be too. So do the work. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe, click, thumbs up, and share with anybody that you think that might need to hear this. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.